So, well, you ready for some of these questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like
This is like a
35-year memory test.
Yes, I know. And they're not. These are a bit scary. The first time I've really had a look at them. Oh yeah, so that was one of the questions actually from Michael Kelly. What do you prefer, the dreaded noggin or naked and roller skates? And you said the dirty old campo.
Yes.
yes.
But if I had
Okay.
to choose between naked and roller skates or the dreaded noggin, it would definitely be the dreaded noggin.
Would you prefer being naked on roller skates, drinking the dreaded noggin?
Yes.
Okay, we'll try and set that up.
Yes, not tonight though. Okay, first question. Was Declan a wild child? This comes from Seamus Fee, who in Carlingford, man.
I think Declan is still a wild child.
Like a Stella.
Short and to the point. Oh, did you think he was wild though growing up? He wasn't really.
No, he wasn't wild, but I think that, the whole idea of, after he got his A-levels, the whole thing about going into academia, whatever, Declan just went, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going into art college, even though he could have gone anywhere with his A-levels. He went into, I'm going to art college. And then after a year in art college or two, he went, no, I'm not going to art college. I'm going to do this in the middle of art college. So he not a wild child, but very much a sort of, I know exactly what I'm going to do here, and this is what I'm going to do. So I suppose that's not a wild child at all, but it certainly wasn't certainly didn't conform, but I wouldn't say a wild child in any way, really.
Yeah, but you could say that he was a non-conformist.
And still is. Always will be, yeah.
Yes. Well, following that is, I don't like this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Which was the worst brother to live with growing up? From Alan O'Hare.
You see, the thing is that I shared a room with you when we were younger, under your bed. It was the bunk bed. So bird's eye view was the top bunk bed that you looked out on. And, health and safety now would probably say that, but being under somebody with the dust and it's not good, is it? I don't think it's good. But you used to go to bed singing, fever and things like that. Remember, you used to sing.
Yeah, I used to sing, and then Daddy and Mum would shout from the bottom of the stairs, "Shut up!" Or not shut up, but basically it wasn't shut up, but it was go to sleep, basically. You know? But I've actually put that in bird's eye view as well. Daddy shouts, "Go to sleep."
So you did that, and I used to go to sleep by banging my head off the other side of the pillow. Do you remember that?
Concerned about you at that point as a person. I thought.
It was a bit weird that. So that would have been. Sorry, I think you've cut out there, have you?
Yes. No, you used to bang your head off the pillow until you went to sleep.
That's right.
Which was slightly concerned. So I was singing on the top bunk.
Yeah, so certainly in the younger days, you would have been more annoying because you were singing. But in the later days, in the old amplifier, old Cave Hill Road days, my bedroom was directly above the studio. And Declan used to go on until whatever hour in the morning. Most of the time, to be fair to him, he had the headphones on. But you could still hear the foot tapping. And every now and then, you would hear a Les Paul, where he'd taken off the headphones and gone over somewhere, but left the headphones on. So you'd be sitting down and you hear and then like an hour later you hear another. Usually, because there were 24 tracks, it usually relaxed my mind, that song, because there was like 20 versions of that, and Declan was overdriving everything and going Les Paul. and there was 20 versions of that, and it was the absolute antithesis of Relax My Mind. It was the complete opposite. So certainly, as this is still part of the elongated childhood, which would right up until our 30s, let's face it, Declan became a wee bit more annoying just because of the fact that I was in the studio above him while listening to Amplifier.
If Brendan and Declan weren't musicians, what careers do you think would have suited them?
See, I think Declan always would have been something creative. I think he would have been maybe something to do with computers or video, web programming or something like that, some sort of visual thing. And you actually, I think, bizarrely, would have made a very good lawyer.
All right. I don't know if that's why is that?
Why is that? I mean, I'm trying to think of. I couldn't see Declan in a conventional role in any way, and they're probably law with a creative angle or whatever. But I think that, I think actually would have been a pretty good lawyer in the right context, not a sort of fusty lawyer.
Yes, not a fusty lawyer.
Yeah.
No offense to all my lawyer friends.
No, only the fusty ones. Only the fusty ones.
Okay, Mary Lavery asks, what is your drink of choice?
I have to say that Declan has converted me to the 0% Erdinger. But that is only at the end of the night. I mean, we tried it in Newry one night, and being able to go through to the early hours and not have the fusty head the next day was a complete revelation, because it didn't mean you had to stop. It meant you didn't have to stop. You didn't have to go, right, that's it. I sort of, 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock or whatever, I have to stop here because I have to get up at 8 or whatever.
Is your system then to have like a few normal drinks and then have a cutoff point where you move into the 0?
Well, yeah, that's like a game changer. Was that not your game changing idea? But
No.
My idea is basically to get to the sort of sweet spot and then hit the 0%, the 0% beer.
Okay. Everybody on the alcohol that isn't enjoying this conversation,
right.
including me.
All right, fair enough. The thing is, you have to get the sweet spot.
Right. And actually, you're not a non-alcoholic. Is that wine's not non-alcoholic, is it?
No. You have to get the sweet spot. What I'm saying is that when you go to bed at 2 o'clock normally, when me and Declan stay up, it's that part after it, the 2 to 6.
Okay. What is your favourite song and album from the band? That's from a load of people. Mike Shaw, Caroline Cripps, Paul Brown, Anthony Breslin, among others.
Right, so that's an interesting one. So the four of us, so there's a favourite song in terms of recording, and there's a favourite song from playing it live. I said two different things, and then I suppose there's a favourite song while it was in the four of us, and then there was a favourite song that post maybe in the four of us. So there's a few things there. Favourite all-time four of us song, I think, is, and I hope this wins, but I was watching I was sort of being a stato, watching the progress of the vote, and Washington Down is the number one for me, just for a number of reasons. But I remember when you first played it, yourself and Declan first played it, and it wasn't, I think we were still in the garage. It was one of the very, very first songs, but it didn't sound actually like a garage band song. It it was the first time I'd seen that sort of tuning, and the fact that it sounded like nothing I'd really heard before. So I've always had and it's short. It's something very nice. I hope it wins. Probably won't, but it's going there for there's a couple of contenders. The favorite song playing live was probably Busload, actually, just because it was a laugh. There was never any pressure on Busload. It didn't matter what you played, actually. And I actually never really knew what I played in Busload. I still actually don't know what it is. I play it different every time because it doesn't actually matter. It's just that sort of groove. There is someone actually out there has a video of the Newry gig where Peter decided to play for another 4 bars and you were expecting the end, and then you're sort of going, hold on a second, Peter's still going here. And there was a video up there for a while that whoever has it out there, if you're at the Newry gig where Declan hits a note where he's looking, do you remember the note, Declan?
Video was up for a while on Facebook.
Yeah.
I remember at the time thinking, I don't know what to play because it was a solo part, and I hadn't a clue what to do.
It was another 4 bars.
Yeah.
Or 8 bars. Prior to that,
it was the 25th anniversary. Show
so if anyone does have that, I'd love to hear that note again. Also, because I decided at one stage to hit a random high note, and thinking that was the end of the song, and then the song didn't end, and Brenton sort of looked, and all of a sudden he looked at me because he was sort of going, the song hasn't ended here, and I had to do another 3 bars of it, and I thought, geez, I just hit one note there, and I have to do that another 3 times here, and I sort of hit another 3 sort of stabs up in the dark, and sort of got away with it, and somebody captured it. Now that was the moment. That was the best. I enjoyed that song because there was no structure to it whatsoever. In terms of songs that your recent songs, I actually like. I actually find that the Take Me to the Water, the new songs, I really like. I suppose because I've heard the other songs, but Take Me to the Water is brilliant, I think.
Okay. What is, and this is conjunction this is from D. Crow, your most and least favourite gig that you played with the 4 of us?
Oh, what's a gig? What is a gig? A gig isn't just a gig. Is on the stage. It's the audience. It's the before and the after. It's what is a gig? Do you know? I always loved the festivals. I loved Glastonbury. I loved Midfin, and I loved Fela. I just liked the festival. I just liked the whole vibe about the festivals. So, in terms of favorite gig, probably Fela in '90, just because. Particularly Mary, I remember playing it, and I didn't have much to do in Mary, a wee bit of sort of thing, but I was able actually to sit and watch the crowd from the stage, and it was just a really sort of a really nice feeling, feeling 90, excellent. Worst gigs, some of the sort of support gigs where the crowd weren't behind you weren't great, but the worst gig definitely was back in the early days. Declan, you remember this? The ULU, University of London, and I was still playing the bass at the time, and Sony were coming down to watch it, including the A&R guy, Muff Winwood, who's a bass player, and I'm a bass player. I mean, he's a proper bass player. And I thought, better get my shit together here. I am going to change the strings on the bass for this. Springy strings. But I didn't know that when you change the strings, you have to tighten them again. Otherwise, they go out of tune. So there was me with my brand new strings, which as soon as we started playing, started to go out of tune. And I was playing along going, I think they're out of tune. I think they're out of tune. But I didn't really know because I was sort of half out of tune, trying to bend the note a bit, bend the note. And then during Food for Temptation, where we used to switch it, where Declan played the bass, he actually went and played a fret up. They were so out of tune. He started playing it, and his eyes sort of lifted, and he looked down, and I went, "Oh Christ! It is my worst nightmare. I've been playing the whole gig, and it's been sort of out of tune." I went onto the keyboard, and halfway through Full Temptation, the stand collapsed, and the piano fell on the floor while in front of Muff Winwood and all Sony. It was just like, this is, it was the worst. And also a gig in, now that I'm thinking of it, I was asking Declan today, one of the gigs in Europe, we were playing support, and, you wouldn't think it now, talking to the audience here rather than you two, but you in particular, Brendan, couldn't, you had a hostile audience there a lot of the time. So what you wanted to do was run from one song into another as fast as you could. There was no talking. You'd go, right, get through this. Don't give them a chance to heckle us. Don't give them a chance. But we were sort of still using floppy disks and sort of loading samples and stuff like that. So the thing was that you had to speed that up. So the way I did that was by recording it at the highest level you could on the piano, which took it into a wee bit like that, and then playing it down really low so you could compress it all in, so when you load it in, it was quicker. And one of the gigs we were playing, I sampled the thing for Jolene, where you go, da, 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 and then the sample comes in, the sax, and I didn't know where it was on the keyboard. I'd sort of moved the bit on and going, put that to a note, and I'm not sure what that note is. And if I miss the note, all you hear after that, it goes da 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 da. And there was a sort of flashing strobe light. Keyboards were flashing black and white, and I was going, "Where's that note? Where is that note?" And I was thinking it about 4 songs before it, going, "Where is that note? Where is it? Is it the F sharp? Is it the G sharp? Where is it on the keyboard? Where is the keyboard?" And actually, at the end, let the force sort of, I just closed my eyes and went, it's there somewhere. It's there somewhere. I'll hit it. And I hit it. But as far as a gig went, it was up there with you, Lou, in terms of the worst experience live for me, because it sort of, just a complete panic.
Holland.
Huh?
No, it was Germany. It was Germany with Paddy Goes to Hollywood and Hollyhead and Runrig, the one where basically they all ran into each other.
No, all of the gigs were like that, because as Runrig continued and it became completely obvious that we weren't what they were looking for, the crowd were there for one thing and we were playing another thing. The Paddy Goes to Hollyhead was sort of funny because they were holding up their tickets, because Paddy Goes to Hollyhead were a German band playing Irish, sort of, tell me ma when I go home, and the crowd were going, this is great, and then going, now we have from Ireland, the real Irish band, and we go into Sensual Thing, and they go, what? And they're sitting kids holding up tickets going, what is this scheisse? That was sort of funny. I like that. Because we were all laughing at each other going, what's next? Are you going to you don't like Sensual Thing? Here comes car crashing 80 miles an hour. You like this one? You better? No, thanks, no.
Before I let you go, because we have another 4 songs to do in our top.
I'm looking forward to see if Washington Town made it.
So, but one Declan had said to me. So there's just one more question, and that is, he said about making up Lightning Paul. That you remember the progression when you came up with it, or had you?
You know, I sort of I heard the talk of that, and it didn't happen like that. It just it was a case of playing one thing and then playing another, and it just followed from each other. But that sort of was the way it worked with me. It was, you know, every now and then something like that, a bit like car crash, something like that would come out of the blue, and I didn't know how it happened. It just happened. You know, it wasn't I didn't actually work that out. It just sort of flowed. But I do remember you running out of the shower with the towel around you, going that. It's one of the defining moments, I think, in terms of where I sort of thought, there's something here. There's something here. But you running out with the towel around you was a bit of a classic. The shower.
A quick question from Mary Sheridan, I think it is, and it's if you were getting up on stage with us, to get up on stage with us now, you know, for one song, to play one song, what song would you pick?
It would be Tambourine for Traffic Jam.
Tambourine for Traffic Jam.
Yep.
Okay.
That could be arranged.
That could be arranged. That could definitely be arranged. Paul, we could do a whole show with you, but we've our top four guests.
Can't wait.
So thanks so much for joining us. There was the amount of emails that we got. In fact, we put all the people that the competition this week was we said basically anybody that asked a question for you, and there was tons of gets put in our thing here for the prize, which is 2 free tickets to Fela Classical.
Oh wow!
All can pick with it.
No, I think that's not going to work.
Wasn't it?
No,
Why not?
because I already said in the email what way it was going to be chosen.
Right.
Yeah. So then I got all the names.
Okay.
I've done all the work here.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm going to pick actually, I'll let you pick. Just pick one out. These are all the people that had a question for Paul. And the winner is, this person wins 2 tickets to Fela Classical, which pretty in a couple of weeks here. I hope they're in Ireland. D Crow. D is probably short for something. D Crow. D is going to be heading to Fela Classical with someone of their choice. So thanks again to Ronan for donating those 2 tickets, and thanks again to the bro for the third bro. It's like the old gang getting back together again. So
Listen,
Paul,
can I say 52 weeks. I've enjoyed every one of them. So here's to the next day, and looking forward to see who's number 1 tonight. But keep rocking.
Likewise, laddie.